Hello, my name is Raymond Weber and I'm from New Orleans. I'm a Katrina survivor. Yes, just want to say a few words about Katrina. Katrina was a really rough devastation to New Orleans, and we're still trying to put it back slowly but surely. And it's taken a lot of time and a lot of funds, and hopefully we can get more people to donate and help a lot of the elderly people move back into their homes instead of having the government take their homes from them. So we need your support, folks. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, yeah, my name's Ivan Neville, and born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. And as everybody knows, back at this point, what happened and the aftermath, and you know, things that didn't get done. And you know, it was really funny, but you know, I drove down in the lower 9th ward about 2 months ago, and that was a whole community that's just when the city of New Orleans will never be the same, the city that we know and love, but that it's like a whole community was just wiped out, you know. And there are some things that are being done. I saw some houses. I saw like three new houses that Brad Pittman built. That was kind of cool, you know, some cool looking structures and whatnot. But I mean, the only, you know, there was, out of desperation, there was some good that came from a tragedy, you know, like the fact that when we started the band a couple years before Katrina as a part-time project, and when Katrina happened, we ended up, a lot of us, obviously we couldn't go back to New Orleans. We couldn't go back there. There was no there to go back to at the time for a while. So we had no other choice but to try to go out and play somewhere. And that's kind of what you know, brought us closer together as a band, you know. And we've been doing what we do ever since then, you know. And obviously a lot of things have gotten, you know, Raymond just was the guy who was, you know, said a few words earlier, and he's back living in his house, but it took him a while. Yeah. It took him a long time. A lot of hard work and sacrificing, and he's back in his house. You know, it took him a long time. But you know, the thing is, the really shame, the tragedy of all of it is that the hurricanes are a way of life in that region, seasonally, you know. But they're not, those levees, if they're a hurricane of that magnitude hit again, it would happen all over again. And as far as I know, they ain't done nothing to the levees that I know about. If somebody else knows something I don't know, fill me in. But they haven't done nothing. So if a storm of that magnitude hits again, the same shit's gonna happen all over again. You know, so that's the tragedy of the whole thing. Like, just like I said, Raymond took him a year and a half, 2 years, fixing on his house, lived in a trailer for pretty much a year or some odd. Yeah. And now he's back in his house, nice and stuff, everything's cool. And next year, come August, come July, August,
there's a run for it.
It's going to happen again.
Right.
You know, so then somebody need to do something. They need to fix those levees, man. I mean, they got some cool levee systems over in Switzerland. That is
no,
Amsterdam. Over there, Netherlands or whatever.
Right.
They got some great levee systems over there. Obviously, that's what I heard. But I mean, why somebody should be doing something to build the levees. I mean, you can build houses and get people back in their homes, and hopefully the structures are built better to withstand this kind of stuff. But you can't stop no water when they want to go. Right. Like Richard Pryor used to say, you can't stop no water when they want to go. Exactly. You got to get out.
Yeah, I believe everybody in the band has a story. Like Josh, for instance. Josh has a house in Gentilly, and he getting ready to start working on it soon. But it's been taking him a long time to get funds, and yeah, this is 3 years later, you know. Also, Nick, the fella behind Tony, Nick has a house in New Orleans.
They're about to repossess it.
You know, hopefully Obama he's trying, you know, but there's powers that be that don't want to see him succeed. Looks like, you know, but hopefully he hang in there and stay strong, and you know, and figure out a new way.
Hopeful, but
he
the man,
that situation.
Right.
He come in and it's just total mess.
Yeah, you know.
He's coming. I mean, this is like a new time, a brand new president, first African American president, which is, you know, obviously historic. Right. You know, time for all of us. But he come in when we're in a total mess, this country. So we're hopeful. We're hopeful that things can eventually, you know, this country can start, you know, living up to its reputation as being the greatest country in the world. Right. You know, and we're hopeful. We're hopeful about this.
What they should really do in the city is worry about helping the people instead of worrying about the French Quarter. I mean, people come there to visit, but there's people that live in that city that need places to live, that their home has been washed away and they're doing nothing about it, but they're making sure it's nice and clean in that area, so when you see the news, you can say, oh, New Orleans looks great, but you can go in any other neighborhood and it's exactly the same as it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we just had a big thing in New Orleans about the trash pickup with Sidney Torres, you know. The government couldn't find the money to pay him to keep cleaning the French quarters up, and with some kind of way, miraculously, they found the money to pay him and to keep him on there sweeping the streets in one day.
In one day, they stopped.
But we got police officers that need equipment, and we got a lot of things that's happening that's way more important than picking up trash for the French Quarter residents in the city. Washing the streets daily in the quarters.
Also, during the storm, 80% of the city was flooded. 20% of the city wasn't. The 20% that was not flooded was the French Quarters.
Right.
That to them, to the powers that be in New Orleans, that's the cow cash. That's all that matters. Because as far as New Orleans economy, which I don't agree with it, but I gotta understand it, that without that historic part of New Orleans economy, that's what they're looking at. Like, there's no, you know, there's nothing. They look at New Orleans as nothing. They can't make any money. The tourism, because that's how New Orleans runs, all the tourism money.
Yeah,
and it's a shame that, you know, the culture of New Orleans is its people.
Yeah, but the problem is, you know, is that the quarters is definitely a money maker for the people that own all the establishments. But you got musicians that's slaving and dying out there, catching heart attacks from working hours and hours for no money.
That's a shame.
You know, so you got to figure that into the whole situation too. I mean, it's rough. You know,
the oil companies should kick in and do something for the city, because they've been, you know, drilling oil around there forever and ever. They're not giving the state a dime, nothing. You know, that's what really should happen. They should kick in some of that money. I mean, in the beginning, Shell kicked in some money to get the Jazz Fest to come back. Right. But, you know, there's a lot of other companies over there. You know, Exxon and Mobil and teamed up together and took over the whole industry. Right. You know, they're not giving us nothing.
Also, during the storm, there was 250,000 people that cannot come back to New Orleans.
Exactly.
That's the culture of the city. You take that amount of people out of this city here, San Francisco, the culture is gone.
Right.